Welcome to an edition of Inside the Dugout. I'm Ron Smolin, here with a special edition from north of the border. I've got Andrew, I got Pearson, I got Justen. How you guys doing?
Well, very good. Thanks for having us.
All right, so I'm especially excited to kind of have these fellows here. Why don't you guys go ahead and introduce yourself, tell us what year you are, where you're from, and what your position is.
I'll start. I'm Andrew Baum. I'm from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, and I'm a senior here, and I'm a pitcher.
I'm Pearson. I'm a marketing major. I'm from Okotoks, Alberta, and I'm a two-way pitcher and third baseman right now.
I'm Justen Tehse from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. I'm in the last year here, and I'm a pitcher as well, finishing up the education major.
All right, fellas. So, Pearson, you got a last name or no?
Oh, Mendiuk, did I not say? Sorry, Pearson Mendiuk. I apologize.
Yeah, so I'm super excited because a couple of these guys last year doing the tournament game, they were my color commentators. If you guys remember, so
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
yeah, I remember that. It's actually on tape. You guys can go back and listen to the game. Yeah, those guys did a nice job for me.
We tried.
Commentators. So you guys were transfers last year. All three of you kind of came, if you remember, and so it'd be interesting. How'd you guys get to Siena Heights? So let's start with Andrew over there on the left.
So right out of high school, went to a junior college in North Dakota. Didn't have a place to go after that, so we went down to Myrtle Beach. Played for a post-grad down there where our head coach, good guy, Alan Cox, he knows Coach K from ABCA, I believe. So that connection kind of got us up here. Well, they have the chemical engineering chemistry program here, so it was perfect for me.
So, Pearson, were you on the team with Andrew?
I was not. So coming out of high school, I just went to university in Canada. I didn't play baseball for the university. So I technically took a year off of baseball, and then I missed it a lot.
So University of Canada, is that like all of Canada?
No, I was in Canada. It was MRU, Mount Royal University in Calgary, Alberta. And out of nowhere in January, I just thought, hey, I'd like to try baseball again, keep it going. So I texted Alan Cox because he used to live in Okotoks, where I'm from. He coached there and everything. So I texted him, hey, what are the odds you think I could play some college baseball, continue my career a bit because I'm missing it? And he said, well, I got a post-grad team starting up this next year if you'd like to come down and see if you can. So that April, I moved down to Myrtle Beach, and that's where I met them. I actually lived on their living room floor for the first week I was there.
So it had like a Canadian connection.
Yeah, we did. Yeah. We actually had a lot of Canadians on that team. We had about 8 or 9 of us, I think.
Yep.
And then, so that was my route, and same thing. Yeah, new Coach K from ABCA.
My route was very similar to Andrew's. We've actually been living together for 5 years now. We went junior college.
So kind of like common law marriage, can
Pretty much.
Pretty much, yeah. We were at Wilson State together, and then after the second year, we both graduated with our associates, and a good friend of ours from junior college knew Alan Cox down there in Myrtle Beach from Alberta, and then we played summer ball with them and then stayed that whole year for post-grad, and then the connection here, and it was nice having the education program transfer things in from Williston and also South Carolina, so then it made it a good decision for both of us, and then we kind of went as 3 of us, so you weren't going alone, and you knew some guys and people to live with, and it made the most sense for us to come here.
It was interesting for you guys to come. So, I mean, was it hot down there? It must have been hot. And,
Beautiful.
Unbelievable.
August 1st, coming out of the plane, I was cooking. I was hot.
compared to what you were used to up there
Yeah.
in the Arctic Circle and everything.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, exactly.
One of the first weekends we were there, we drove to Atlanta, and we were on turf fields, and I've never been so hot in my life. You just put your hand down, and it's like an oven. It was
cooking.
It wasn't fun, but we had fun with it.
Absolute scorcher.
Yeah, scorcher.
So Canadian baseball is something new to me, at least when I got into college. And so my first introduction to Canadian baseball, fall of 2021, I was going to my first JV game, and me and my wife were running a little bit late at Spring Arbor. And we were running late, and I was walking up to the game, and the great Thomas Backaway was up.
Another Alan Cox player.
Was it?
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Another Alan Cox player.
And we were walking up, and those of you who do not know Thomas Backaway, about 6 foot forward, His fall weight was about 235. His spring weight, winter weight's a little higher. And he launched this bomb. Chase and Ben were there. He launched this bomb over the left field fence. You know, the fence was 335. It must have been 380 plus. It was a no-doubter. And I was like, who is this guy? Because I had never seen anybody like this. And I was sitting, you know, obviously in the stands after talking to some parents, and the rumor was that he was a lumberjack, and that they had signed him, that they had seen him swinging an axe handle, and the coach had signed him. But so that was, they said, no, he's from Canada. And I'm like, Canada? I said, you sure he wasn't a hockey player or a curling player? And they're like, no. But so that was like my first introduction to Canadian baseball. And come to find out there was other Canadians on the team that you know, everyone kind of, so that was my first introduction to Canadian baseball. So so it's great. And from what I also hear now is they're unveiling a bronze statue of Thomas this spring.
Is that right? I've got a spot for it. Yeah.
So I hear he might be coming back for the unveiling of his bronze statue.
That'd be nice to have him.
So anyway, so this is another interesting thing. So you guys make the trek back and forth every fall. So
It's a convoy.
it's a convoy. So how many cars? Do you guys share cars? You have your own
We
car?
all each have our own.
Yeah, we each have our own.
Any breakdowns or anything?
Not as of
Luckily
yet,
not,
knock
yeah.
on wood.
Yeah, don't bring that on. we don't. Our moms probably don't sleep for about 2 to 3 days.
Yeah,
That's
well, I'm
for
getting
sure.
calls every 20 minutes
Yep.
probably. You still going? Where you at?
So, and you probably the same thing when you went down to South Carolina or the Carolinas too.
Oh, well, I flew down. You had your
I
truck
was
down,
I was the
so-
only one to drive to South Carolina, and thankfully my dad took a few days off work, and that's a little bit of a further drive, so he came with me, and we just made a trip out of it. We went to Cincinnati, went to a Reds game, did things like that to kind of make it less of a just straight driving and a little bit of a trip. So that drive wasn't too bad. Still a long drive.
Any troubles at the border?
No, we're student visas, so
I was wondering how that all worked.
It's always nice and quick getting into the States.
Yeah.
Going back home, it can be a little bit longer. but-
Well, it's interesting. So, not to cut you off, but I mean, I did my graduate schooling in Seattle, so we'd go up to BC, Vancouver quite a bit. Going to Canada, the people at the border, the Canadians were very nice. Coming back in, different story. I always thought I was like smuggling in like Cuban cigars or something.
well,
You know, so it was always a little bit. I just was wondering how all that went.
it's kind of opposite for us. So
Yeah.
when we come to the U.S., they see that we're just coming for school.
Yeah.
Then when we go back to Canada, they're worried we're smuggling tobacco across, alcohol across, stuff like that.
They don't have tobacco and alcohol in the
We
Canada,
do.
or-
It's just more expensive.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah. So they're just worried that we're gonna be resell and bringing cheap tobacco that we bought in the U.S. Stuff like that. So that's we get asked a lot of questions coming home, but coming here it's easy. They're not worried.
Very interesting. So this podcast is a educational podcast, learning about the Canadian culture. And that kind of goes to my next story, just about Canadian baseball in general. So, you know, how is the season up there? I think I was talking to one of your dads. It could have been Andrew's dad, and he was telling me that there is no high school baseball up there. Is that true?
Oh, no,
There's no high
baseball. We just play, I think it would be considered club baseball in the States. Yeah, or travel baseball. And it only goes, I think we started in May, probably first
Yeah,
weekend of May, and
first
then it goes
weekend.
till middle of July. July long weekend, I think.
Yeah.
Sometime in there.
Middle
Mine
of
was
July.
into August.
Yeah.
Or August long
First week in
weekend.
August.
Yeah. That's August long weekend. Yeah.
Yeah, so not a long
And then our fall baseball is the month of September and a little October because we can be buried in snow by Halloween. So doesn't last too long.
So did you guys have like, you probably had tournaments with like 24-hour days being late. You guys must go late. You don't even need any lights or anything, do you?
Not quite.
That'd be cool. That'd be cool. Because I've seen those Alaska games. They got some of those up north.
Yeah.
I've seen a 24-hour game, one playing at 1 a.m. That'd be sweet, but
No, you didn't have that.
didn't have that. Not quite yet. We were still getting
You weren't
dark.
that far north?
Not quite.
We have lights at our field.
You have lights at your field?
Yeah,
a couple of them?
We've got some lights. So we
Sun still sets at 10:30.
yeah, 10:30 sunset usually.
So how did you, I mean, so back again, you know, I mean, obviously for us, you know, we have our stereotypes of Canadians,
Of course.
which is part of the fun. And you guys did this for me by wearing your hockey
Proud.
sweaters. I see we have a Toronto Maple Leaf fan over here that's still waiting for that cup. I think like 1947 was the last cup?
67.
60. Oh, okay. I'm
Oh, you're cutting 20 years off there. Come on. We got-
So how did you decide that you wanted to play baseball instead of, obviously do hockey? I mean,
Growing up, I did both, actually. So I grew up, I started out, we moved from Langdon to Okotoks when I was about 6. So in Langdon, it was even a smaller town than Okotoks. And we didn't have a baseball team. We only had hockey. And my dad actually played baseball his life. He went to JUCO in Washington. He only went for a little bit, but he went to JUCO, so he wanted to get me and my brother both into baseball as soon as he could. So as soon as we made the switch into Okotoks, we both got into baseball. And in the summer, we did baseball. In the winter, we did hockey. And it was just always back and forth with the seasons. That was just kind of how we did it.
what position in hockey did you play?
By the end of my career, I was a defenseman, but I started out as a centerman. So, sorry?
Seventh.
Yeah, no, I was a starter. Come on.
13th.
No, I was our fourth line grinder right there. I was out there for body. I wasn't a point getter.
Well,
I was protecting our guys.
fifth line grinder. Andrew?
I also played hockey growing up. I didn't start playing baseball probably till I was about 11 or 12. Mm-hmm. Right when the Blue Jays started to get good, I started to get into it. I was like, oh, that's a pretty cool sport that I want to give it a try. I played soccer. I played lacrosse in the summer when I was growing up. But around, 12 or 13, I started playing some baseball, and I just loved it. It was so much fun. Started playing like fall baseball, getting better in that. And I wasn't too great at hockey. I was just mostly doing it for fun. So I eventually decided like baseball's where it's going to be. That's what I want to do. And it was a good choice.
Well, you looked solid on your skates the other day.
Justen?
I also played hockey. I was just gonna say when we can get a chance, we go skating here in Adrian, just to keep active.
Yeah.
It's just kind of what we do in our free time.
That's what it's expected. Not
Yeah.
Go ahead.
But how I got into baseball, my mom actually played some pretty competitive softball growing up. Softball is actually, I would say, might honestly be bigger than baseball, especially when she was growing up. But so she was pretty big in the softball, and then she found out I was left-handed pretty early and immediately got me a left-handed baseball glove, and I've been playing since I was really little and just kind of stuck with it. And I was better at baseball than hockey, so it just made sense to keep going on the baseball route.
So what position in hockey did you play?
I was a defenseman. Yeah.
Lots of defensemen, I noticed. Andrew, were you?
I was a center.
Yeah, okay.
Center, yeah. I didn't like playing defense.
Defense, I don't think the ladies like defensemen.
No,
There's some missing
exactly.
teeth and stuff. You guys have all your teeth?
Oh, yeah. There's a couple times I almost lost them.
I was going to say, because usually you can tell usually I think a sign if you are good at hockey is it depends if you have all your teeth. So you guys obviously have all your teeth, so you're probably not that good at hockey.
Exactly.
Good
I guess
at
so.
I would play baseball.
I guess so.
Get it, Dodge.
So you're not the only Canadians on the team.
Nope.
We've got all kinds of them. They kind of multiply.
Oh, yeah.
When you have a couple of them, then
contagious.
more show up, I noticed.
It's contagious.
So
and flock.
like 7 of them? 6 or 7?
About that, yeah.
6 or 7, yeah.
They're not all from Western Canada.
No, we
Got a few from East.
Yeah.
This year we got Mac and Caden.
Yeah, there's 2 from Ontario.
And I hear that if you're from Central Canada and Western Canada, you get along, but if you're from Eastern Canada, it's a different story.
Well, we're not too fond of them over East.
that might be
Something else.
It's hard to say.
That's the one thing big hockey fan growing up. I grew up in Belleville, Michigan, kind of over there, and I used to listen to Hockey Night in Canada all the time. And I always hated when the Red Wings played Montreal because they would, the Canadians would score a goal, and then you'd have to hear the goal twice in English and then obviously in French, and it was very irritating, and all those type of things. So let's switch a little bit over to when you guys came. And you came and you talked about a little bit of it was nice to come to a team because you knew some people. But anybody that jumps out at you that kind of came up to you and said, "Hey, welcome to Saints baseball. Welcome to Adrian." Anybody that kind of was maybe a teammate you have now, or maybe someone who was graduated that kind of took you under their wing and said, "Hey, welcome, man." And it was just kind of a friend that you kind of could point to. Who'd like to go first?
I'll go first. First one for me was definitely Thomas Backway. We didn't know each other personally, but we had so many different mutual friends from Alberta and Saskatchewan and old schools in South Carolina that, like I'd mentioned before, we had the same coach, so we knew of each other, and we knew people, and it just immediately, first day I met him, it was like I had known him for 4 years already. We had still have so much to talk about. So he was definitely someone that, kind of took me especially under his wing and introduced me to Siena Heights and Adrian.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. Thomas really kind of showed us around, made sure we were comfortable. Like a whole lot of guys. We met a bunch of people first week we were here last year. Got to know everybody really quickly. So I would say Thomas really did help get us acclimated, showed us around so we knew what was happening really.
Yeah, I knew Thomas when I was 12 or 13. We played together in Canada. And then again, when we were like 15, or I was 15, he was probably 16, 17. And then, but the same thing, like we met here actually that first week. We had a kind of a team get together, just kind of meet all the guys. So like guys like Devin Eads, Chase Molnar, Ben Weedock, like we met a lot of guys who were all very welcoming to us. And, we got to know everybody pretty quickly. And I think it started out pretty good for all of us. I think we met everybody and got introduced pretty quickly.
Well, I noticed you guys. I mean, when I first met you guys, and like, if you guys know, I'm kind of hanging around the games and stuff. You guys all really seem to gel with the rest of the team. I mean, the culture, and you guys all seem to have a lot of fun. So it seems like everyone kind of seems to have a really good fellowship, brothership. Baseball, and you guys really kind of had a good time. So. Kind of going back forth, I always ask people this, in my job. I meet people from all over the world and all over different countries, and this is a question I ask people all the time. So what was the biggest thing when you first came to America? What was the biggest thing, was a big surprise about America that you didn't know about, or what you had heard about that was something that you never knew, or which just surprised you about America?
That's a great question.
So it's a hard question, because if you would go to Canada and cross the border, it's not too different. Like, it's not like you're going across seas to Europe. Like, the languages are the same, everything's like, driving's the same, so there's no like drastic difference where it like throws you off. But there's a lot of little tiny things that don't really affect day-to-day life that are just different, that kind of catch you off guard. Like, I remember the first time going into a Walmart in North Dakota at Wilson State and seeing the cereal aisle, and that it was like bags and bags of cereal, both sides. And I'd never seen anything like that in my life, because we've got Cheerios, Fruit Loops, and Frosty Flakes. That's like, just the variety of cereal. I was like, oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say nothing really, there's no big major differences. The thing that I found the most funny is the first year that I went to college, and same with Justen, was like fall of 2020, so COVID was still kind of a thing. And back home, it was really big deal, like where everyone's locked down, kind of everyone's still, there's limits to what you can do. And we came to Williston, North Dakota, and it was free for all, no problem, no problem. So that was like, I couldn't believe some of the things that we were just able to go out and do.
Well, you weren't in Michigan.
We were
if you were in Michigan, it's a different story.
And we were 6 hours away from home, like like just right.
We drove one day, and it was, the rules were like we were on another planet. It was like a little eye opener.
Even in Alberta, huh? Or you're Saskatchewan.
We're Saskatchewan.
Yeah, sure. It's a little bit different. That's true. What about you?
Honestly, for me, mine's a silly one, but this is just something I always complain about at home. At home, we have these paper straws that we use for drinks and Slurpees and everything. These paper straws, everything. So here I've got my dash stuffed with extra straws I get from McDonald's or other restaurants. I always bring home for the family, so when we get our pop or anything, we don't have to use paper straws.
Same with the plastic bags, too.
Plastic bags,
I always make sure to bring my mom home some
Plastic bags?
so she can put them in like the little packages.
Be careful at the border, because I think there's a limit on how many you can bring. How much would be detained at the border.
Smuggling bags and straws now.
Yeah, they're
That's
checking
what they're
for straws, I guess.
One thing I'll say about Canadians is, at least in the parents aspect, now we have some great parents that are Americans too, but your parents are like the nicest people. I mean, your parents, are like, and we have great parents here, but, obviously I've dealt with travel ball parents, as an umpire, I hear them. But your parents, like the nicest people, great, neighbors, I'm sure, but I don't think. Now, Thomas's dad is I got to know him, and he's pretty sarcastic, and he's a great parent, too. He's probably listening in, but you guys have the nicest parents.
Well,
so.
I was going to add on this. Don't put our moms in a hockey rink. They're turn a little bit different when it's a Saturday and their little boys are playing hockey. They're not as nice as you might think they are.
Banging on the glass, yelling at the refs.
Oh yeah, Canadian hockey moms are a little different.
One too many Red Bulls. Huh?
Exactly.
They don't need Red Bull to be like that.
Well, we're to the point of the podcast. We're going to have a little musical number here. We're going to pull over the guitar here. Pearson actually plays guitar.
Just a wee
And
bit.
he comes from the family. He's going and
Do you have that pick by chance?
I don't know if I took the pick I do have the pick I was going to say, I have a couple picks. I have my own pick, and I have your own. This is a really heavy pick. It's an Eddie Van Halen pick.
Yeah, it is.
Wow, this is a really thick pick, like you play a bass with. You got to try mine. It gives a little bit, but this is more of a flex pick. Got to try that one.
I'll give it a shot.
So he's got the cape on and stuff. Do you want to announce what song what you're going to play?
Oh, a little "Here Comes the Sun" by the Beatles, because my dad's in a Beatles tribute band.
I've heard of the Beatles.
Yeah, is that right? So I don't know. I've always loved the Beatles music, and when my dad joined the band and I got a little more in guitar, I started to learn a little bit more. And "Here Comes the Sun," it's one of the hardest songs I know, but it's one of the
I like. You're going to sing along to it or just play it?
He's even writing his own songs sometimes.
I write here and there.
That's actually impressive.
He's a good artist, and he goes with the flow too, which is the most impressive.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's give it a
I
shot.
don't know if I'll sing unless you fellas want to sing. You go
Yeah,
ahead.
it's all you.
I might sing along with.
Here comes the sun, doo-doo-doo. Here comes the sun, and I said, it's alright. I think it's your turn now.
Very good. That's actually really good. Now, we don't have many people play guitar your ages and stuff, so I think we'll do that for the next time. I'll play one next time. You're too good. I think you're better than me, so I can't play anything.
Well, I don't
so-
play in front of people often, so
I think
that was a lot for me.
Bring that on the bus down to Florida.
Oh, I don't know if the fellas want to hear that.
Coach K, you probably like it.
That'd be a lot of hours stuck with me playing guitar.
That's really good. So, well, now we're going to get to the point of the podcast that we're going to have truth or untruth.
Truth, man.
I've got some.
Exciting.
I have some questions for you.
New
Some,
segment, isn't it?
huh? It's a new segment, yes. And some of them have to do with you. Some of them have to do with your teammates.
Is that right?
So,
Oh boy.
So, and then some of you may not even know. So we're going to first start out with a teammate. So a teammate of yours and a fellow Canadian, Garrett Smith. Truth or untruth, he is not a fan of hockey.
I wouldn't say he's not a fan. I know he hasn't played.
He didn't
He didn't
hockey.
play all his life.
He didn't play.
I don't know if he's a fan or
I
not.
couldn't tell you who his favorite team is.
That's true. Like, he doesn't
Yeah.
talk hockey.
An odd duckling there, right?
On duckling.
You know, he doesn't have a favorite team that we know of.
Probably the Flames.
I did bring it up with him the other day. It is the Flames, but he doesn't watch too much, so he might not be the hockey fan like the rest of us.
I'm gonna say,
There's always one.
not truth.
Yeah,
I bet you would go to hockey.
Yeah, he would. Well,
probably go.
I've actually gone to Adrian College hockey games with him, so
Yeah.
he will go to a hockey game, and he does like
This probably doesn't have a passion for it.
Yeah, probably.
Very interesting. There's always one. There's always one, isn't there? So Justin, I was looking at your Wikipedia page, and I saw this on your Wikipedia page. So true or untrue, you have a Justin Trudeau bumper sticker on your car.
That is very untrue.
I think I've seen that on the back of Big Blue. No,
I probably should ask them true, and it's an untrue. Okay.
Yeah, I've got
Untrue.
I've got a Toronto Maple Leafs license plate on the front, but there's no Trudeau.
tries to
Bumper
hide his
plates.
love for Trudeau.
Okay. So probably no bumper sticker, no tattoo, nothing like that.
Absolutely not.
Under the bikini line or nothing like
Nope.
I think he changed his name so he could be Justen T as well.
that. That's right.
I heard that.
I heard.
I think this pie is it spelled the same? Is Justin spelled the same?
No, he threw
No,
in
mine's
an E.
That was
a
to
little
throw
bit
us off,
different.
though. That was just to throw us off.
All right, so the next one, true or untrue? Someone put vodka in Andrew's water bottle.
This is
That is true. Yes.
That's true.
And mine too.
Yours too.
I actually got some of that in mine as well.
Yep.
I could have went to practice with that. That was a pretty harmful prank.
Speaking of which, I think we have to bring that up with you. Not pointing fingers, but I'm pretty sure it was your son.
What? I can't believe that. I can't believe.
Just the odd 10 minutes we leave our door unlocked and he'll be in there doing stuff in our apartment.
Well, I think he probably read that that's what Canadians use for like morning, like orange juice. They have alcohol.
He could have read that, but
There's some drinking that goes on up north of the country.
You got to stay warm somehow.
There's some. True or untrue? Ben Weedock is a Swiftie.
It's
probably true.
Probably.
Very true. Okay. I'm not really sure if that's true. And for those who don't know, that is a Taylor Swift fan.
It is.
That's what they say.
I think I always hear him humming in at practice.
Yeah, I'd say that's probably true.
All right. True or untrue? Chase Molnar has hair extensions.
It's tough.
So when I first met Chase, his hair was buzzed.
Yeah.
He had no hair, and it's pretty long for a year and a half.
That's good.
He did have it down to his shoulders for a little while, though. He did have it down quite a bit.
It does seem to change quite a bit.
And recently it's been shortened about 3 to 4 inches. So
You could have just taken him out.
Probably true.
probably true.
Probably true.
Probably chill. Okay, well, that we'll have to check with that. I'm not sure. I'll have to pull on his hair and see. If it comes and goes, you can get those hats that kind of have the hair down there, some to that point. Have to skull it. Part skull, part mullet. So my last of true and untrue, back to Justin's Wikipedia page. His favorite hockey player is Alex Ovechkin. True or untrue?
I've heard him say that he wants him to pass Gretzky. Unbelievable.
As a fellow Leafs fan, I'm going to tell you that's untrue.
It is untrue. I am a Leafs fan and current NHL player of all time. Or
Yeah, well, so who is your current? Well, no, let's go current and then of all time.
current NHL player, probably number 34, Austin Matthews, captain of the Maple Leafs. And then all time would be Dion Phaneuf.
Oh, from the Flames.
Well, actually, captain of the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yeah, but then he got traded over there.
Well, he got traded to the Leafs
From the Flames.
from the Flames when he was younger. So, yeah.
Always hated playing the Flames because, you have to stay up late if you're on the East Coast.
Oh, yeah.
And then, they'd score the goal and then the flame would go off and the lights and it was just, you'd be so angry and then the fans would be going nuts.
Have you ever been to the Saddle Dome?
No, I haven't.
You got to be in the rink for it. It's a sweet atmosphere.
It's hot.
It gets warm.
Lanny
Flames go
McDowell.
off.
Remember Lanny, the old, from way back my day, the big mustache. But anyways, so back to the Flames. So my final question today for you fellas is, 2 weeks from opening day. I know it's hard to believe. What are you guys excited about personally and for the team? And we'll start with Andrew over there.
I'm excited. We have so many new players. I'm excited to see what we can do. I think we have a good chance to be better than last year, and we were in a good spot last year to keep moving up, keep getting better. So I'm excited to see what we got, really, especially with our whole bunch of new hitters, like position players. So we don't really know what we have, but I think it's going to be pretty good. And then personally, I might have the opportunity to start this year, which is always exciting, but my past 2 college starts have not been too successful. Do not look them up. So I'd like to kind of mend that a little bit, but just whatever I can do to help us win some more games, really. Doesn't matter to me.
Oh, mine would be the same. I'm very interested to see what we can do. We got new guys at almost every position that are going to start, and I don't know. From what I've seen at practice, it's been looking real good. So I'm excited to see what we can do in Kentucky and Florida, start us off, and then myself, honestly, hard to say. I'm getting more into pitching this year. Coach K has liked what I've done more with the pitching side of things, so I'm excited to see what I can do on the mound. Hopefully something to help us. If not, then sorry, fellas, but I'm hoping to help.
Yeah, for me, definitely excited for the pitching staff. We're very old, a lot of seniors especially, that are in their last year of college baseball, and a lot of us are going to give it everything we got. So super excited to see what guys have been doing for the last 3 years now, going into the last year, and giving it all they got to help win some games. And then hopefully the hitters score some runs to help us out and make our job a little easier. That'd be, things go like they should. We should be, have a very successful year. And then personally, get back on track. Last year dealt with some arm injuries, some arm struggles. So currently feeling healthy, ready to go, excited. And like I said, along with all the other senior pitchers, give it all I got and see what happens. One last ride. So
Sounds like a good time. I look forward to the beginning of the season. It's hard to believe, and for us and for you and just for parents, a month from now we'll be down in Florida, sunny Florida again, and for some of us it'll be our fourth trip down and the last trip down, and it's fun for us to watch you fellas play, and and a lot of times it's being successful, sometimes it's not, but still just the experience, and it's a lot of fun to get to know you fellas all and be a part of it for one last time. So again, thank you guys for coming and being good sports.
Oh, thank you.
On and getting to learn a little bit more about you and Canadian baseball and what not to bring into Canada. Because who wants to be detained at the border?
Bring us straws, though.
Yeah, bring some straws. Looks like there's a market for straws. I can take them up there. Black market for straws. Yeah. So again, thanks everyone for another section or another session of Inside the Dugout. Until again, I'm Ron Smolin, and we will see you again.